off on the next adventure. A non-surf trip for me, surf trip for them. We are off to Costa Rica for 16 days, then El Salvador for 5 days. We're going to join up with Bodyboard Holidays like we do every year. Vicki and I are guest coaches for the Bodyboard Holidays Central America trips. And we look forward to meeting all the guests down there every year. It's so beautiful, warm, sunny, and good food, good friends. Sounds like a beer commercial, right? All right.
Cheers.
More later. All right, here's our little pad right here that we stay in every year. Here's the beach. We're gonna go for the afternoon surf check. First day here. Well, pretty dreamy day. It's our second full day. Swell has come up. And there are some beautiful waves out here. Look at that left. Man. I'm not gonna lie, it's killing me. Absolutely killing me not to be out there. Oh man, another gorgeous Costa Rica sunset. This is only our second full day. Steve and Linda from Huntington.
Look at that one, you guys.
Oh my gosh, so pretty. Nightly ritual here in this part of Costa Rica. Look at that, beach is packed. Everyone's watching the sunset. So epic, man. So because I can't surf, I've been going on walks every morning, a couple miles, probably 2.5 miles on the beach. Beautiful place to walk. It is really tough to see the waves and not be able to surf. And this thing is, as you can imagine, pretty uncomfortable in the heat. But I managed to sort out a workout bench, I should say, to do some presses and curls and sit-ups. And this is the workout bench. And I lift this log. It's probably about 25 pounds, I'd say. So at least I can get sort of a semi-gym workout going. It's about the best I can do. And get some mosquito bites in the process. Following on with an update, it was a week ago today that I was at the doctor in California, and my CT scan revealed that healing was going very slow on my broken neck. Had a planned trip here to Costa Rica with Bodyboard Holidays, 3 weeks in Costa Rica and El Salvador, and it's been super frustrating. Been here 6 days, been hiking on the beach, lifting logs just to get exercise, but super frustrating not being able to surf. Waves have been great, weather's been beautiful, and yeah, it's like taking a little chunk of my soul every morning when I see Vicki and Kieran getting barreled out there and I'm stuck on land. So I started looking into treatments and have decided excuse me, to cut this trip short and fly back to California and start on some BPC 157 peptide treatments to see if that can speed up the healing. So I've rebooked my ticket. I'm flying home today back to California. Vicki and Kieran are going to stick around here and enjoy, which they should, and cross fingers for me that this helps. 10 weeks out of the water now, longest by far I've ever been out of the surf, and it's killing me. So hopefully this helps. That's it for now. Ciao. All right, latest update. It has been 10.5 weeks since I broke my C1 vertebrae in my neck. If you look at the last update that I did, the CT scan didn't go well. It revealed that there's hardly any healing happening in my C1. it should be fused together by now, and it's not. So I started looking into treatments, and I went to Costa Rica. I was supposed to be in Central America for 3 weeks with Vicky, and the bulk of that trip was meant to be as a guest coach with Bodyboard Holidays. So I was there for 6 days and decided that I should be back here investigating some of these treatments that might help speed up the healing. So my research revealed there's something called a Wolverine stack, which helps boost your healing properties. It involves BPC 157 and some other peptides added onto that. And it's controversial, right? A lot of athletes use them. A lot of people profess the success rate. It doubles the healing time, or I should say cuts in half the healing time. And I just thought this is something I need to try, because the healing naturally is taking forever. Some of that could be my age, I'm almost 62 now. So I flew home early, and I got in touch with a friend who sells the peptides, and I now have my first injection, or had my first injection yesterday from the person that I acquired this Wolverine stack from. I'm now about to do my first self-injection. I'm really nervous. I've never injected myself, and I know some people have to do it every day with insulin and stuff. So I'm sure once I get past this first one, it'll be smooth sailing. So I'm going to do a month course of this injectable peptide mix and hope that it speeds up the healing. You can see I'm not wearing a neck brace now. My neck's fine if I'm just like keeping my head still, sitting at a computer, not moving around much. I do wear my neck brace when I go for walks or, move around. So, and when I sleep. But it doesn't hurt. It's just I can't make quick movements with my neck, and I'm trying not to move it much. So I'll let you know how that first self-injection goes. Wish me luck. All right, just did my first injection. Super easy. Just pinched a little bit of fat on my stomach. It's a really small needle. Just poked it straight in, injected, done. So the next time will go much more smoothly, and I'm really crossing fingers that this peptide treatment will speed up the healing of my neck, and I can be back in the water, sooner rather than later. I'll give you more updates as they come. Thanks for watching. Today is January 24th. I am here in San Clemente. It's been 4 days since I got back from Central America. Going on my first hike without a neck collar. No, the doctor hasn't cleared me for this, but the neck's feeling better. I'm being very careful not to rotate my neck. And yeah, I know. I'm going to get comments here, but I like to think I know my own body and what I can do, and I tend to like to push things a little bit. So just being very careful not to trip on anything, and wish me luck on this hike. It is January 26th, 2025. Happy Australia Day, by the way. I know it was yesterday in Australia. First time behind the wheel is right now. First time I have attempted to drive a car since the injury, which was exactly 11 weeks ago today. I have some mobility. I'm just driving to work. It's a very short and simple drive. I don't think I'd be keen to go on the freeway, but this will be my first drive in almost 3 months. Wish me luck. Update time on the broken neck recovery trail here. Today is February 12th, 2026. It is my 62nd birthday, and it is exactly, well, not exactly, it's 13 and a half weeks, I believe, since I broke my neck on November 10th. And my next appointment is tomorrow on February 13th with my spine doctor. Now, he hasn't ordered any scans CT scan is usually the only way you can really tell if the C1 vertebrae is healed. If you remember, I think I've mentioned it in prior posts or clips that the C1 is like a ring, and it holds up your head. And that ring broke on both the front and the back, and those have to fuse back together to consider the bone healed. And then once that's done, then you got to do physical therapy to get all the movement back, because everything's tightened up after being immobile. Now, I am supposed to be in a hard collar. I'm a bad patient, and I stopped wearing that thing probably 2 weeks ago, except when I sleep and when I do my weights. I couldn't hack it anymore, to be honest, and I'm very careful about not moving my head too much. And I know there's going to be people who are going to tell me, oh, you got to keep it on, you got to keep it on. I understand that. It's just a decision I made, and I may regret it. But anyway, we'll see how the appointment goes tomorrow. We're going to Tavarua in less than 2 weeks. I didn't anticipate being able to surf on that trip anyway. Even if the bones were healed, figured I'd still be, too stiff to be able to surf. Got to be able to turn your head, it turns out, to be able to surf. And of course, the potential impact of the lip on my neck or diving off my board, and the impact of my head hitting the water on a dive. So all of that, your neck has to be like 100%. You can't go into this one at 80%, not with this type of injury. Maybe with a broken arm or the collarbone like I did last year, but not with a broken neck, especially the C1. It's a very, very delicate and important bone. So tomorrow will be the test, or at least some news from the doctor. We'll see how it goes. I'll report back after that. I am crossing my fingers for a positive result. And today I had a lot of really nice messages from a lot of people on Instagram, Facebook, texts, phone calls for my 62nd birthday. And I really appreciate all of those, man. It's like super humbling. So many nice messages. And sometimes I don't feel like I'm worthy of all of that. And I'm not saying that to get a reaction out of anyone. I don't know. It's just, I think the way I was raised, just don't keep yourself too high on a pedestal or anything. Anyway, I'll report back after the doctor visit tomorrow. We'll see. Thanks. All right, here's the x-rays. He said everything looks pretty well aligned, but can't tell if the bone's healed or not, so waiting for the doctor to come in. All right, here's the update. As promised, saw the spine doctor today and got some pretty good news, I think. He cleared me to get out of the collar finally. We did x-rays today, which are kind of inconclusive in terms of seeing whether the C1 fracture that I have in both the front and the back have fused. But he did think I have a pretty good, what's called a fibrous union, which is kind of like scar tissue and ligaments that kind of hold everything together. But the next CT scan won't be for about 5.5 weeks, and I see him again in 6 weeks, which will be the end of March. He also said I could probably paddle out in some small waves and, really small waves on a longboard and have a crack at it. But he told me to work on the flexibility of my neck. So I'm going to slowly ease into that and each day kind of like try to push the flexibility just little by little. I got to take this slow. The C1 is a very critical vertebrae that, controls a lot of things in your body. You don't want to screw around with it. So I'm going to take it slow but steady. And I'm just encouraged by that update from the doc. We'll know more about the healing of the C1 in that next CT. But we're going to Tavarua on our TaviTube tour 2 weeks from today. Today's February 13th. And I figure that'll be the perfect place. There's a spot right in front of the resort called Kittyland. Be a perfect spot to get maybe my first wave since the injury. It's been a bit over 3 months since I broke my neck. So, if I can get out there in 2 weeks, that'll be a blessing. And the water's super warm there, so I won't have to pull on a wetsuit or anything. Very easy to get out there. At the very least, I'll be able to get on a stand-up paddleboard and kind of do some laps around the lagoon there, because there's no waves in the lagoon. So just looking forward to getting in the water again. I feel like the ocean is a place for me that is very healing. So I look forward to that, and stay tuned for more. But that is the latest update here from just over 3 months after the C1 fracture. Thanks for following along.